You're with Julian on the Brown Note, and I'm doing a couple of old horror movie reviews, and they're not old, they're about 5 years old, if that. But I saw Ghostbusters 2016, this isn't a review of the latest Ghostbusters, and the sequel to the movie It 2. So I'm going to review both of them because I had some pretty strong opinions about them. So Paul Feig is a director that has really gone from one extreme to the other for me. He came to prominence with Bridesmaids, and everyone made out that Bridesmaids was the female version of The Hangover. And for the first sort of half hour of it, I thought it was great, but it really descended into being a very standard rom-com. You know, you've got the lead female character who's worried about the fact her best friend's getting married and she's single. And it didn't really deviate from actually literally being that. It was nothing like The Hangover at all. It just had ruder jokes than the average female-centric rom-com. So I wasn't blown away, but Spy, the best film I've seen Melissa McCarthy in, magnificent. Why haven't they done a sequel? Unbelievable cast. Unbelievable comedic acting from everyone in it, from Jason Statham. Everyone was great in that film, across the board, really, really good fun. And then we get to Simple Favor. I thought was wonderful, super dark film. So in all, I pretty much liked a lot of what he's done, but I'm not so sure about The Heat. Last Christmas, some stinkers in there, and I've got to be honest, adding it to the top of the pile of manure is Ghostbusters 2016. I avoided this film like the plague, and there was a simple reason. I just wasn't interested in seeing it. So when it came out, it became synonymous with toxic male abuse online. You know, Rotten Tomatoes will turn off the user comments on a film, and all of that happened before the film came out. So I didn't really give that any credence, and I assumed that actually it would be a pretty decent film. I love Kristen Wiig, and having seen Melissa McCarthy in Spy, I assumed that it was a decent 7 out of 10 film, and everyone just hated on it because it was girls doing a boys' film. And to be honest, they haven't been great so far, have they? Ocean's 8 as well. This time around, it is a film that basically ignores the existence of the first Ghostbusters as much as possible, whilst retreading almost all of the steps it can. It's not a very imaginative take, and the story is pretty lackluster. So Kristen Wiig is like at a university having gotten tenure, and she teaches about, physics and ephemera and stuff like that, but is outed as being somebody that believes in ghosts. In the past, she posted videos about how she believed in the supernatural world, causes a lot of controversy, and gets a boot where she ends up with I think it is Kate McKinnon and Melissa McCarthy, who are on the margins trying to prove that the ghosts are returning to the city, and it's going to lead to this event where they take over the world, and that's pretty much it. I was expecting it to be pretty decent, but this is actually an abomination. It was so bad. I was actually quite shocked by how bad it was. I think the only person that comes out of this with anything is Kristen Wiig floats through this without really doing herself any damage. She is fantastic. I've never seen her bad in anything. I'm still not 100% convinced she isn't Emily Blunt, or that Emily Blunt isn't Kristen Wiig. I have confused them a couple of times in films, even though they're nothing alike. Well, I guess they must be. She's fine, but everyone else isn't. Melissa McCarthy is at sea here. She is so effortlessly, charismatically funny in Spy. Her timing, everything is on. It's like this time around they forgot to write a funny character for her, and she's just adrift. I've never seen her so lost in a role. Kate McKinnon is supposed to be like this super eccentric, cool, edgy girl, but I found her she's an award-winning comedic actress. She's won loads of television awards as a comedian. Here I just found her shtick to be very, very cringe-inducing. It was actually quite painful to watch, really over the top as well. And Leslie Jones got all of the abuse because she was a black woman. So, I mean, if being a woman's bad enough for the toxic set online, being a black woman is even worse. I found her role to be a pretty offensive. You know, where there's always a token black person who says that's what I'm talking about, or shit just got real in guy movies. She just, that character shouldn't exist now. She is that character. That is all that she is. She doesn't bring anything else to the table at all. I thought some of the effects were pretty decent, but the story is so slight and so obvious, and they wheel in the cast of the original movie to sort of drive a cab or walk past in the background for no reason at all. And I didn't really go for anything in the movie as the main villain was basically the guy out of the Green Lantern, the villain out of that. It just seemed to be that, someone that couldn't get a pretty girlfriend when they were at school and has decided to destroy the world. It was a very dull film. It was often cringe-inducing. I got no chemistry at all from the leads. It was never funny, and it had a very slight story. So I'm going to give Ghostbusters 2016 a pitiful 3 out of 10.